Hey, world. It's a midday live. I want to come back with a little information here. If you read the title was United States governments and states can go bankrupt, right? But you can't in regards to student loans, right? The student loan debt right now is like $1.3 trillion, a little bit more. You would think that you have an opportunity to file for bankruptcy because that is an option that most individuals, corporations, states, governments have to file bankruptcy when they have more debt than assets. Now, does bankruptcy mean you don't have money? Javi, what's up? Bankruptcy doesn't mean that you're depleted of assets. Bankruptcy means that you can't pay those liabilities, okay? And so I wanted to pose a question, and I want to give some food for thought today to ask you guys, why can't people with student loan debt, because remember, student loan debt is $1.3 trillion. The people that are running for president today are trying to get the loan holders to forgive the loan, okay? But my point is this. Anytime a person, a corporation, a state, or government has more liabilities, they normally can file for bankruptcy. Ask yourself, why can't a student, or why can't an individual who has $50,000 or $75,000, $20,000 worth of student loan debt, why can't they file bankruptcy? Consolidate the loan so they can have a new beginning. Because remember, bankruptcy lasts 7 years. So if you're able to file bankruptcy on a student loan, then you can get your life back together from a credit standpoint. You dig? Because there are states that file bankruptcy. There's governments that have filed for bankruptcy. The United States filed bankruptcy in 1933, and they filed for bankruptcy in 1971. In 2016, 9 states filed for bankruptcy. Now, let me know if you're in these states: Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Illinois, Kentucky, Hawaii, California, Maine, and New York. All filed for bankruptcy. Now, if you live in those 9 states, did you know that? You dig? And so when a state filed for bankruptcy, or when a nation filed for bankruptcy, then it's supposed to put them in a situation where they're not responsible for paying all that debt off at once. They can just kind of pay it in payments and still accrue more assets, and while doing that. Now, the United States have over $20 trillion worth of debt. How can we have the richest, best economy in the world if we owe $20 trillion, over $20 trillion to other people? You see how you got to read between the lines? We have the best stock market according to who's in office and who's over the financial situation right now. But family, think about this. Don't have cognitive dissonance. If you have over $20 trillion worth of debt as a country, how can you have the best economy? Khadija, hey, thanks for joining me in the garden. Okay? So I just want you to kind of think about that, family. So remember, pay yourself first. And don't always kind of look at or think about or take for word value what you see on a television. Because you just kind of ask yourself, how can a country have the best economy in the world if they owe over $20 trillion in debt? That's why I say it's a facade. Go and look at a city, a state, or a government's comprehensive annual financial report. You'll see there's a lot more assets there than they report. Mike, thanks for joining me in the garden. Okay? So, like I say, think about that, family. Pay yourself first. I'm not going to be in the garden long today. I just wanted to kind of give you something to think about, some food for thought. how can a government that has its best citizens' interests at heart, right, and have students graduate from college with this much debt and they're not able to file for bankruptcy? Puerto Rico can't even file for bankruptcy, and they're U.S. territory. You dig? So, 2016, Truth, check that out, Truth Jackson. 2016. Not only was it New York, it was Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Illinois, Kentucky, Hawaii, California, Maine. All right. So kind of check that out. And what you're going to check out and what you're going to find out is how is it that these states had this much debt, billions of dollars of liabilities, when you guys that are in these particular states pay taxes every year. You got to realize, family, a lot of these states have state taxes. I'm in Texas, so we don't have state taxes. We have, we have the sales taxes and whatnot. But how is that? You know why? And how? Because of a comprehensive annual financial report. Just because I say my budget is $500 this month, that don't mean I only have $500. That's just how much I'm gonna spend. You did? And so I tell my kids, Daddy only got $500 this month. That's the budget. My kids don't know about how much money I make, right? They don't know about the other money. So when that $500 is used up, my kids automatically know that, oh man, we got to wait till next month. Yeah, because $500, that's it. And that's how the government works. Broke, come on. Javi, great question. You asked me, does the bankers have a part in the debt? The Federal Reserve has a part in the debt, because remember, family, we're not on a gold standard. So the money that you have in your pocket right now, or that card that you have in your wallet or purse, only value it has is the value that we put on it. Because it doesn't, you can't go to the bank and you have $10,000, say, okay, hey, let me get $10,000 worth of gold, because that's the particular asset value. The money is just made up. And so, yes, once they came off the gold standard, that's why the United States was bankrupt in 1933 and 1971. Okay? Remember, 1912 was when the Federal Reserve System came into play. 1913, when they actually signed into law the Federal Reserve System. Okay? And so, think about it like this. There's a central bank, which is all over the world, and countries that do not have a central bank, those are the countries that pretty much get invaded. All right. And so when you have a central bank, that bank is able to just print money to satisfy the economy, or to pretty much control the economy. So, Javi, when you ask me, does the banks have something to do with it? Yes, because the banks, which are the Federal Reserves or the central banks, they control a country's economy by two things: quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. And what does that mean? If they want to put more money into the system to devalue the currency, this is called quantitative easing. Okay? Lower interest rates, which we are right now, right? And then more people can get more loans at a cheaper price. So that there's more money out there into the economy. Or they can do quantitative tightening, right? And squeeze the amount of money that's in the economy. So now the money is worth more. So if you understand this, then you have to stay on top of geopolitical news, pay yourself first, and make sure you have put yourself in a situation where you can get some nice assets, dividend stocks, real estate, annuities. The reason why I mention annuities, family, is because that's also, please don't just depend on your pension plan and your Social Security, because that's not going to be enough. Okay? So when I talk about the whole process of the monetary system being somewhat of a scam, it's only a scam because our fiat system is not based on anything tangible. It's just paper and your energy. And so the best way you can kind of benefit from it is kind of getting more information about how the system works, where the money that you are making from your energy, you basically just having that amount just increase over time. Think about this before I get up out of here. If the Federal Reserve can say our goal is to have inflation at 2% every year, okay, 2% every year, that means automatically you should be checking your banks to find out how much your bank is giving you on your savings account. If your bank is giving you less than 2%, then you automatically know your money is losing money. This is transparent information. This is hidden in plain sight. Yeah, money, family, is a concept. Okay, money don't actually exist. It's a concept. That's why money was actually silver at one time, gold at one time, sheep, cows, what I mean? That was considered money. Money is basically just a concept of how we can actually trade, or actually how people have faith in a value of a particular commodity, whether it's paper, whether it's an animal, whether it's a stone, whether it's a metal. Once you understand that, then you can kind of make sure that the money system that you're in, you benefit from it. Okay? Don't just work every day and just pay bills. Then you don't understand the monetary system. In order to be financially stable in this type of monetary system, you have to understand that our system is predicated on a central bank that makes sure that our economy goes up and down, up and down. And now, since the economy has been up for so long, they have to come up with some type of, something to have it to crash or to recede back to where it needs to be. In former years, they had wars and everything to kind of, justify. But now, we're not in war. If you notice, all these diversionary tactics have been made. But if you look at the financial indicators, like the market capitalization to GDP, meaning most stocks are overvalued, like the real estate market, and look at the property value. If you own homes, look at how much you paid your home for initially, right? And then how much it's worth now. If it's way more worth now, then that tells you something. You dig? And also look at how other countries are devaluing their currency, and then how it's already in the news and the television how we in some type of trade war. Okay, those are what they call geopolitical indicators, and it's there for a reason. Okay, so make sure you pay yourself first, family, and get ready for something nice to happen if you understand what's going on. All right. So, like I say, guys, let me just recap. States, governments are able to file for bankruptcy. Student loan recipients aren't. And you got to ask yourself why. If you got $50,000 in student loan debt, wouldn't you think you're able to, file for bankruptcy? Because once you file for bankruptcy after 7 years, you're good. So why is it that you can't? You know why? Because that debt is owed to the government. You dig? And that's why I say take advantage of also guaranteed type of situations like U.S. Treasury bills and U.S. Treasury notes and bonds. If the government won't let you file bankruptcy for their debt, then guess what? They're going to pay their debt. And that's why people, not only individuals, but corporations in other countries purchase U.S. Treasury bills, U.S. Treasury notes, and U.S. Treasury bonds, because they know in the long run, they're going to pay it back. Why? Because remember, the debt they say they have isn't necessarily the debt they actually have. You have over 300 million people paying bills, paying taxes. You have all this land. You have the most powerful military in the world. Believe me, family, they're not worried about $20 trillion worth of debt. You did? So, all right, family, I'm finna get up on out of here. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High Society bring you joy. And being with us out of 5,000. Javi, Khadija, Mike, Truth, thanks for joining me in the garden. And being with us out.